Welcome back to Coins Home. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of U.S. coin collecting to uncover the top 5 most valuable rare Lincoln pennies, the tiny copper cents that can be worth millions of dollars. From legendary minting errors to ultra-rare finds that make collectors' hearts race, we're counting down the pennies that prove size doesn't always equal value. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just curious about coins, you won't believe how much these little classics can fetch. Let's get started. The story of coins is not just about money. It's about history, culture, and the tiny pieces of metal that have witnessed centuries of human events. Among the most fascinating coins in American numismatics is the Lincoln 1-cent penny. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, this coin has captured the hearts of collectors for over a century. While millions of pennies have been minted since then, certain rare varieties stand out, commanding attention, admiration, and extraordinary value. One such coin is the United States 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Today, we are diving deep into this remarkable piece, exploring its history, rarity, characteristics, and most importantly, its value. The Lincoln cent has a long and storied history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, its obverse features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The reverse design, known as the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, was introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By 1976, the coin had undergone subtle changes in composition, reflecting the evolving economy and the needs of the U.S. Mint. The 1976 penny holds a special place in the history of American coinage because it was part of the bicentennial era. While the focus of collectors often shifts to quarters and half dollars for 1776 to 1976 celebrations, the Lincoln penny from this year also has its share of fascination. The no-mint mark variety is particularly intriguing. Unlike most circulating pennies, which carry a mint mark indicating their origin, D for Denver or S for San Francisco, the no-mint mark Lincoln penny signifies that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Philadelphia, being the oldest U.S. mint, carries an aura of prestige and history, but in 1976, the lack of a mint mark became more than a point of origin, it became a marker of rarity. Understanding why this coin is so collectible requires a glimpse into coin production practices. By the mid-1970s, the U.S. Mint had perfected mass production of coins. Billions of coins were struck annually to meet the demands of circulation. Yet, errors, anomalies, and unique production quirks occasionally occurred. The 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is celebrated not because of a production error in the traditional sense but due to its limited availability in certain high-grade conditions. Many pennies from this era were heavily circulated, acquiring wear, scratches, and discoloration. Finding a specimen in near-perfect condition, with sharp details and lustrous surfaces, is exceptionally rare. Collectors and numismatists often pay attention to the details. On a pristine 1976 no-mint mark penny, Lincoln's profile is crisp, showing every line of his hair and the contours of his face. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1976 stand out sharply against the smooth copper surface. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side appears almost three-dimensional in its clarity, with every column, every line of the steps, and even the tiny inscriptions visible to the trained eye. The difference between a circulated penny and a mint condition no-mint mark penny is staggering, and this distinction drives the high-value collectors are willing to pay. Condition alone is not the only factor. Rarity and demand also play a significant role. The 1976 no-mint mark penny is relatively scarce in uncirculated form. Unlike coins with the D or S mint marks, which were produced in larger quantities or distributed widely to collectors and banks, the no-mint mark pennies were fewer in number, especially in high grades. This limited supply meets with a growing demand among collectors who aim to complete sets of Lincoln cents or to own unique examples of American coinage history. Another aspect contributing to its allure is its connection to history and nostalgia. The mid-1970s was a time of cultural and economic change in the United States. The country celebrated its bicentennial, reflecting on 2 centuries of independence and growth. Holding a piece of history like the 1976 no-mint mark penny is like holding a tangible connection to that era. Collectors often describe it as holding more than just a coin. They are holding a piece of American identity, a symbol of endurance, and a testament to the artistry of the U.S. Mint. Beyond historical and aesthetic value, there is a fascinating scientific side to coin collecting. Modern collectors often examine coins under magnification, studying every tiny mark and anomaly. Certain coins may carry die cracks, double strikes, or other subtle features that make them even more valuable. While the 1976 no-mint mark penny is not an error coin in the classic sense, experts sometimes note variations in die polish lines, striking quality, and metal composition that can distinguish one coin from another. These micro details are enough to transform a common penny into a rare collectible worth thousands. The market for rare pennies like this one has grown steadily over the decades. Enthusiasts and investors alike have recognized the potential of Lincoln cents not just as collectibles but also as financial assets. Unlike regular circulating pennies, high-grade specimens of rare years appreciate over time. Auctions, private sales, and numismatic shows frequently highlight the 1976 no-mint mark penny as a must-have for advanced collectors. Its appeal is not limited to seasoned numismatists. Even new collectors who start with more accessible Lincoln cents often aspire to acquire one of these rare gems as the centerpiece of their collection. It's also interesting to note the role of grading companies in the valuation of such coins. Third-party grading services evaluate coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a flawless, perfect coin. A 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny graded at 65 or higher is considered highly desirable. Coins with grades like MS66 or MS67, which indicate virtually perfect condition with full original luster, are extremely rare and command the highest prices. Collectors trust these independent assessments because they provide a standardized, objective measure of a coin's quality and rarity, ensuring confidence in buying, selling, or trading. Collectors also often pair their 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny with other significant years in the Lincoln cent series. For example, a complete set might include key dates from the early 1900s, rare error coins, and high-grade uncirculated specimens from pivotal years. Within such a collection, the 1976 no-mint mark penny often becomes a highlight due to its combination of historical significance, scarcity, and condition. Displayed in a protective case, it is not just a coin but a conversation piece, an object of admiration, and a tangible link to American heritage. When it comes to monetary value, the 1976 no-mint mark penny is one of the more remarkable examples of a modern coin commanding extraordinary prices. While many pennies from the 1970s circulate for face value, those in pristine, uncirculated condition with the no-mint mark distinction are exceedingly rare. Collectors are willing to pay substantial sums to own one. These coins have been sold at auction and through private collectors for tens of thousands of dollars, with the exact price depending on the grade, luster, and appeal. It's important to remember that buying such a coin is not just a financial transaction, it's an investment in history. Coins like this carry both intrinsic and extrinsic value. The intrinsic value comes from the metal, craftsmanship, and artistry, while the extrinsic value is derived from scarcity, condition, and desirability among collectors. Over time, rare Lincoln cents, especially those with unique characteristics, often appreciate faster than many conventional investments. They become a tangible asset that can be passed down through generations, carrying both monetary worth and family stories. In summary, the United States 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is a coin that stands out in the world of numismatics. It is a testament to the artistry of the U.S. Mint, a symbol of American history, and a rare collectible that appeals to both novice and advanced collectors. Its appeal is multifaceted: historical significance, limited supply, high-grade preservation, aesthetic beauty, and the thrill of owning a piece of Americana. For those fortunate enough to acquire one in top condition, it is more than just a penny, it is a treasure. For anyone exploring the world of coin collecting, the 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny represents the magic and excitement of numismatics. It's a reminder that even the smallest, most ordinary-looking objects can hold incredible value and significance. Whether you're holding it under a magnifying glass, admiring the sharp detail of Lincoln's profile, or imagining the countless hands it passed through since 1976, this penny embodies the intersection of history, art, and wealth. And for collectors and enthusiasts wondering about its ultimate value, it is astonishing to realize that this rare 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, in pristine condition, can be worth $30,000. The humble Lincoln 1-cent penny has been part of American life for generations, quietly passing from hand to hand, often ignored, sometimes even forgotten in jars and drawers. Yet every so often, a single year, a single detail, transforms this everyday coin into something far more fascinating. The 1982 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark is one of those coins that proves how ordinary objects can hide extraordinary stories, and sometimes extraordinary value. In 1982, the United States Mint was going through one of the most important transitions in modern coin history. For decades, Lincoln pennies had been made primarily from copper, giving them a familiar weight, color, and feel that Americans instantly recognized. Rising metal prices, however, forced the mint to rethink everything. Copper was becoming too expensive to use in everyday coinage, and the solution was a dramatic change in composition. That single year became a crossroads, with pennies struck in both traditional copper alloy and the newer zinc-based planchets coated in copper. This moment of transition created confusion, curiosity, and today, intense interest among collectors. The 1982 penny is unique because it exists in multiple variations, more than almost any other Lincoln cent year. There are differences in weight, metal content, lettering style, and of course, mint marks or the absence of them. Among all these versions, the no mint mark penny holds a special place, because it tells us exactly where it was made and under what circumstances. When a Lincoln penny has no mint mark, it means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. For much of American coin history, Philadelphia coins did not carry a mint mark, making no mint mark pennies extremely common in some years. But 1982 is not just any year. It is the year when the old and new overlapped, when machines were adjusted, dies were swapped, and mint workers were adapting to rapid changes. That environment is exactly how rare and valuable coins are born. At first glance, a 1982 no mint mark penny looks just like countless others. Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile face is right, dignified and calm, with the date clearly visible beneath his portrait. The word liberty rests behind his head, while in God we trust arches above. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands strong, its columns neat and symmetrical, with the words United States of America and 1 cent completing the design. To the untrained eye, there is nothing remarkable here. But collectors know that the real story is hidden in the details you cannot see at a glance. One of the most important factors that separates an ordinary 1982 penny from a potentially valuable one is its weight. Copper pennies weigh noticeably more than zinc pennies. During that year, both types were struck at Philadelphia, sometimes even on the same day. This overlap opened the door for mistakes, errors, and unusual combinations that were never meant to leave the mint. Some pennies were struck using the wrong planchets, while others display characteristics that blur the line between the old and the new. Another detail collectors obsess over is the style of the date. In 1982, there are large date and small date varieties. The difference is subtle but crucial. The shape of the numbers, especially the 2 and the 8, can reveal whether a coin belongs to a scarcer variety. Combine date style with metal composition and the absence of a mint mark, and suddenly you have a puzzle that can take years of study to fully understand. Condition also plays a massive role in determining worth. Most 1982 pennies were heavily circulated. They were spent on groceries, gas, and candy, dropped on sidewalks, and tossed into change jars. Finding one in pristine condition today is not easy. Coins that show sharp details, strong luster, and minimal marks stand out dramatically from the rest. When such a coin also belongs to a rare variety, its desirability skyrockets. Collectors are drawn to 1982 no mint mark pennies not just because of money, but because of what they represent. This coin captures a turning point in American coinage, the moment when tradition gave way to practicality. It is a physical reminder of economic pressure, industrial adaptation, and the hidden complexity behind something as simple as a penny. Holding one is like holding a small piece of history that most people never think twice about. Over the years, stories have circulated about lucky finds. People discovering a 1982 penny in an old coffee can, a childhood piggy bank, or a roll from the bank. In some cases, these coins turned out to be far more than pocket change. These stories fuel the excitement and keep collectors searching. Every time someone checks their spare change, there is a tiny spark of hope that they might uncover one of these elusive treasures. Authentication is crucial in this world. Because values can be high, professional grading services play an essential role. They examine the coin's weight, composition, strike quality, and overall condition. They verify whether it truly belongs to a rare category or if it is simply a common example. A certified coin carries trust, and trust is everything in numismatics. The 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny has become a symbol of why collectors say you should never underestimate small coins. Pennies are often dismissed as insignificant, yet this single year proves that even the lowest denomination can hold incredible importance. It encourages people to slow down, look closer, and appreciate the craftsmanship and history embedded in everyday objects. For new collectors, this penny is an ideal gateway into the hobby. It teaches patience, attention to detail, and the value of research. For experienced collectors, it remains a challenge, a year filled with varieties that can still surprise even seasoned experts. The thrill of the hunt never really fades, because there is always the possibility that another rare example is still out there, quietly waiting to be found. As time passes, interest in transitional coins like the 1982 penny continues to grow. They occupy a special category, bridging old and new, tradition and change. Their stories are richer than most, and their appeal goes beyond numbers and prices. They connect collectors to a specific moment in American history, frozen in copper and zinc. So the next time you come across a Lincoln penny from 1982 with no mint mark, don't dismiss it too quickly. Weigh it, examine the date, study its condition. What looks like a simple cent could be a remarkable survivor from a year of transformation. In the world of coin collecting, knowledge is power, and sometimes that knowledge turns a single penny into a small fortune. For those exceptional examples that meet the rarest criteria and highest standards, the value has been known to reach an astonishing amount, recorded at $26,898. The humble Lincoln 1-cent penny has a way of surprising people, especially when a single small coin can carry a story far bigger than its face value. Today's journey takes us deep into the heart of American numismatic history, focusing on a coin that many people have spent without a second thought, yet collectors quietly search for with sharp eyes and steady hands. The United States of America 1987 D-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny is one of those coins that proves how ordinary pocket change can become something extraordinary. When you first look at a Lincoln penny from the late 20th century, it feels familiar. The calm and dignified portrait of Abraham Lincoln gazes to the right, a design that has become one of the most recognized images in American coinage. Created by Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909, this portrait marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on a circulating United States coin. By the time the 1987 D penny was struck, this design had already lived through wars, economic booms, and cultural revolutions, making every example a small piece of living history. The year 1987 sits in an interesting place in American history. The country was moving forward with technological change, the Cold War was approaching its final years, and everyday Americans were experiencing a mix of optimism and uncertainty. Coins from this era reflect modern minting techniques while still holding on to traditional designs. The Denver Mint, represented by the small D mint mark beneath the date, was one of the busiest facilities producing pennies in massive quantities. Millions upon millions of 1-cent coins rolled out of Denver that year, destined for cash registers, wallets, and piggy banks across the nation. At first glance, you might wonder how a coin made in such huge numbers could ever be worth more than 1 cent. That is where the magic of coin collecting truly begins. Value in numismatics is not only about age, but also about condition, rarity within a type, and unique characteristics that separate one coin from the rest. While many 1987 D pennies are worn, scratched, or discolored from decades of circulation, a small number have survived in exceptional condition. These pristine examples are the ones that spark excitement among collectors. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A penny that still holds its original luster, sharp details in Lincoln's hair and beard, and clean lettering can be dramatically more desirable than a worn piece. The fields, which are the flat areas of the coin, should appear smooth and reflective. Any marks, spots, or dullness can lower interest, while a well-preserved surface instantly raises curiosity. Collectors often use magnification to inspect the tiniest details, searching for that perfect balance of originality and beauty. Another factor that draws attention to the 1987 D Lincoln cent is the composition. During the early 1980s, the United States Mint transitioned from copper-based pennies to zinc cores with a thin copper coating. By 1987, this change was firmly in place. While most people never notice the difference, collectors understand that these zinc-based pennies can be more vulnerable to damage if the copper plating is compromised. Coins that avoided corrosion and retained their smooth surfaces become even more impressive over time. Beyond condition and composition, collectors are always fascinated by minting anomalies. Errors and varieties add an extra layer of intrigue to any coin. A slight misalignment, an unusual strike, or an unexpected detail can transform a common penny into a sought-after treasure. While not every 1987 D penny has such characteristics, the possibility keeps collectors searching rolls of coins and old collections with hope and patience. The thrill of discovery is often as valuable as the coin itself. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side of the penny also plays an important role in its appeal. Introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the memorial design became a symbol of American stability and respect for history. On well-struck examples, the columns of the memorial are sharp and clearly defined, and even the tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside the building can be seen with proper lighting and magnification. These fine details are what separate an average coin from a truly special one. Collectors often speak of the emotional connection they feel when holding a coin like this. It may have passed through countless hands, purchased simple necessities, or rested quietly in a drawer for years. Each scratch and shine tells a story. The 1987 D penny is a reminder that history is not only found in museums or textbooks, but also in everyday objects that travel through time with us. The market for Lincoln cents has grown steadily over the years as more people discover the joy of collecting. Online platforms, coin shows, and local shops have made it easier than ever to learn, trade, and build collections. Enthusiasts study mintages, compare grades, and share discoveries, turning what was once a quiet hobby into a vibrant community. Within this world, certain modern pennies have risen to remarkable levels of interest, surprising even experienced collectors. What truly sets apart a high-value 1987 D Lincoln penny is the combination of all these factors working together. A coin that survived decades without losing its original shine, that displays strong strikes on both sides, and that appeals visually can reach levels few would expect from a 1-cent piece. It becomes more than currency. It becomes a collectible artifact. For new collectors, this penny offers an exciting lesson. It shows that you do not always need ancient coins or precious metals to find value. Sometimes, the most fascinating treasures are hiding in plain sight. A careful eye, a bit of knowledge, and a passion for history can turn everyday change into something extraordinary. As you explore your own collection or examine coins handed to you in daily life, remember the story of the 1987 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. It stands as proof that value is often overlooked until someone takes the time to look closer. Each penny carries a legacy, and some carry a future that far exceeds their humble beginnings. In the end, this particular coin has captured attention not because of its age alone, but because of what it represents in the world of collecting. It bridges the gap between modern circulation coins and serious numismatic interest. For collectors who appreciate condition, history, and the thrill of discovery, it holds a special place, and when all of these elements align perfectly, this unassuming penny has been known to reach a remarkable value of $21,983. Imagine holding a simple copper-colored coin in your hand, something so ordinary that most people wouldn't give it a second glance. It rests quietly in your palm, light, familiar, and almost invisible in how common it seems. Yet sometimes, the most ordinary objects carry extraordinary stories. Today's story is about one such coin from the United States of America, a Lincoln 1-cent penny dated 1995, with no mint mark. A coin that millions have spent, dropped, or ignored, but one that collectors know can hold surprising value and powerful historical meaning. The Lincoln 1-cent penny is more than just pocket change. It is a symbol of American history, endurance, and everyday life. For over a century, this small coin has passed through the hands of workers, children, shopkeepers, and collectors alike. When you look at a 1995 Lincoln penny, you're not just seeing metal. You are seeing a piece of a nation's daily rhythm during the final years of the 20th century, a time of rapid technological change, economic shifts, and cultural transformation. The front of the coin proudly displays Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. His portrait has appeared on the penny since 1909, making it one of the longest-running designs in American coinage. By 1995, Lincoln's image had become deeply ingrained in American identity. The design you see on this penny is refined, familiar, and instantly recognizable. His calm yet determined expression reminds us of unity, resilience, and leadership during times of great challenge. Turn the coin over, and you'll find the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design was introduced in 1959 and remained in use until 2008. The memorial is not just an architectural landmark, it represents remembrance, honor, and national pride. On the 1995 penny, the memorial design reflects the era's attention to detail and traditional minting standards. If you look closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, a detail that continues to fascinate collectors. Now let's talk about the words no mint mark. This is where curiosity truly begins. In the United States, coins are produced at different minting facilities. When a penny has no mint mark, it typically means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. For many years, Philadelphia-produced pennies did not carry a mint mark, making no mint mark coins extremely common in everyday circulation. However, common does not always mean worthless. The 1995 no mint mark Lincoln penny was produced in very large quantities. Millions upon millions entered circulation, flowing through banks, stores, and households across the country. Most of these coins were used daily, suffering wear, scratches, and discoloration. But among these countless ordinary examples, a few special pieces stand out, and those are the ones that excite collectors and investors. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A penny that looks almost untouched, with sharp details, original shine, and minimal imperfections, can be dramatically more valuable than one that has been worn down by decades of use. Collectors use grading systems to evaluate coins, carefully examining every surface under magnification. Tiny differences in luster, strike quality, and preservation can mean the difference between a common coin and a highly sought-after treasure. The metal composition of the 1995 Lincoln penny also plays a role in its story. By this time, pennies were made primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating. This change had occurred years earlier due to rising copper prices. While some collectors prefer older solid copper pennies, modern issues like the 1995 still have their place in serious collections, especially when they display exceptional quality or rare characteristics. What truly captures attention are unusual features. Coins with striking errors, off-center designs, doubled elements, or exceptionally sharp strikes can elevate a simple penny into something remarkable. While not every 1995 no mint mark penny has these traits, those that do can become the centerpiece of a collection. Even without dramatic errors, a perfectly preserved example can command respect and admiration. There is also the emotional side of coin collecting. Many collectors remember finding their first interesting penny in a jar, drawer, or pocket. The thrill of discovery is powerful. A 1995 penny might remind someone of childhood, a particular moment in time, or the excitement of learning that everyday objects can hide unexpected value. This emotional connection adds depth to the coin's appeal beyond numbers and grades. Over time, demand plays a major role in determining worth. As collectors seek to complete sets, especially high-quality examples from specific years, competition increases. The 1995 no mint mark penny is often pursued by collectors who focus on memorial cents or modern Lincoln series collections. Finding a top-quality example becomes harder as years pass and more coins are lost, damaged, or forgotten. Market trends also influence how these coins are valued. Interest in coin collecting has grown globally, with online auctions and collector communities bringing attention to pieces that were once overlooked. Coins that seemed insignificant decades ago are now being re-evaluated under modern standards. This renewed interest shines a spotlight on coins like the 1995 no mint mark penny, especially when they appear in extraordinary condition. It's important to remember that not every coin will reach high value. Knowledge, patience, and careful inspection are essential. Collectors often recommend examining coins under good lighting, using magnification, and learning how to spot subtle details. Storing coins properly, away from moisture and handling damage, also helps preserve their condition and potential worth. For those new to coin collecting, the 1995 Lincoln penny offers an accessible entry point. It's easy to find, familiar, and rich with history. For experienced collectors, it represents a challenge, the search for the finest example among millions. Either way, it teaches an important lesson: value is not always obvious at first glance. As time moves forward, modern coins gradually become historical artifacts. What was once everyday currency becomes a snapshot of a specific era. The 1995 penny captures the spirit of the mid-1990s, a bridge between the old and the new, tradition and innovation. Its continued presence in collections ensures that this small piece of history will not be forgotten. So the next time you come across a Lincoln 1-cent penny dated 1995 with no mint mark, don't dismiss it too quickly. Take a closer look. Examine its shine, its details, its story. You might be holding more than just spare change. You might be holding a quiet reminder that even the smallest things can carry remarkable significance. And for the finest examples of this coin, preserved in exceptional condition and admired by serious collectors, the value can reach as high as $34,998. Imagine holding a small copper-colored coin in your hand, something most people would drop into a jar without a second thought. It feels light, ordinary, almost forgettable. Yet this very coin carries a story that stretches across American history, modern minting technology, and the passion of collectors who search endlessly for meaning and value in the smallest details. Today, we are diving deep into the story of the United States of America 2019 D-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that proves even in the modern era, a single cent can still spark curiosity, debate, and excitement. The Lincoln 1-cent penny is one of the most recognized coins in the world. Introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, it became the first circulating United States coin to feature a real historical figure. Over the decades, the design has evolved, the metal composition has changed, and minting techniques have advanced, but the heart of the Lincoln cent remains the same. By 2019, this humble penny had already witnessed more than a century of American life, from horse-drawn carriages to smartphones, from handwritten letters to instant messages. The 2019 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, a facility with a proud legacy of producing billions of coins for circulation. The small letter D beneath the date quietly marks its origin, yet the tiny detail plays a huge role in the world of numismatics. Collectors know that mint marks can be the difference between a common coin and one that deserves a second, much closer look. The Denver Mint is known for its consistent quality, but even consistency can create opportunities for rarity when demand, condition, and circumstances align. On the obverse side of the coin, Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile faces right, dignified and thoughtful. The design, originally created by Victor David Brenner, remains one of the longest-running portraits in U.S. coinage. On the 2019 issue, Lincoln's features are crisp, the lettering sharp, and the overall appearance clean when preserved in high condition. The words "In God We Trust" rest above Lincoln's head, while "Liberty" and the date sit confidently along the edges. These words are not just decoration, they are reflections of American identity and values carried forward into the modern age. Turn the coin over, and you'll find the Union Shield reverse, introduced in 2010. This design symbolizes the strength and unity of the nation, with 13 vertical stripes representing the original colonies bound together by a horizontal bar. At the top sits the phrase "E pluribus unum," meaning out of many, one. For the 2019 D penny, this reverse design speaks to continuity, reminding us that even as times change, the idea of unity remains central to the American story. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 2019 D Lincoln penny is its composition. Unlike the heavy copper cents of the early 20th century, modern pennies are primarily zinc with a thin copper plating. This change, made decades earlier, was driven by rising metal costs. Still, collectors continue to appreciate the warm copper tone and the way light reflects off a freshly struck surface. In high-grade condition, a 2019 D penny can appear almost mirror-like, with smooth fields and sharply defined details that elevate it far beyond everyday pocket change. Now, you might wonder why a relatively recent coin like the 2019 D Lincoln penny attracts so much attention. After all, millions were minted, and many still circulate today. The answer lies in condition, precision, and the mindset of collectors. Modern coins can achieve extraordinary value when they are preserved in near-perfect or flawless condition. Coins that escape scratches, wear, and handling damage are far rarer than their mintage numbers suggest. A coin that looks ordinary at first glance can become extraordinary under magnification and professional grading. Collectors often search through rolls of pennies, bank boxes, and even loose change, hoping to find examples that stand out. A perfectly centered strike, strong details, and immaculate surfaces can elevate a 2019 D penny into a completely different category. These are the coins that grading services examine closely, assigning numerical grades that can dramatically influence market value. In the highest grades, competition among collectors can become intense, pushing prices far beyond what most people would ever imagine for a 1-cent coin. The year 2019 itself also adds an interesting layer to the story. It represents a moment in time just before major global changes reshaped daily life. Coins minted that year circulated during a period of relative normalcy, making them a kind of quiet time capsule. For future collectors, the 2019 D Lincoln penny may symbolize the closing chapter of a particular era in modern history, adding emotional and historical appeal alongside its physical characteristics. Another reason collectors pay attention to modern pennies is the possibility of subtle minting anomalies. While major errors are rare, minor variations in strike quality, dye condition, or surface finish can create excitement. Even without dramatic errors, the pursuit of the finest known examples keeps interest alive. It becomes a challenge, almost a game, to find the best of the best among millions of seemingly identical coins. What truly makes the 2019 D Lincoln 1-cent penny fascinating is how it challenges our perception of value. In everyday life, a penny is often dismissed as insignificant. Yet in the hands of a collector, it becomes an object of study, care, and even pride. It reminds us that value is not always about face value or age, but about rarity, condition, and the stories we attach to objects. For YouTube viewers and coin enthusiasts alike, this penny represents an important lesson. Always look twice. Always pay attention to details. Coins that appear modern and common today can become tomorrow's conversation pieces. The thrill of collecting is not only about finding something old, but about recognizing potential where others see nothing special. As we come to the end of this deep dive into the United States of America 2019 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, remember that every coin has a story waiting to be discovered. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone just beginning to explore the world of coins, this penny stands as proof that history, craftsmanship, and value can exist even in the smallest denominations. And when preserved in exceptional condition and sought after by passionate collectors, this modern Lincoln cent has been known to reach an astonishing value of $28,777.